Ours tonight. Then at 6:35, we'll have a public hearing on a proposed zoning bylaw amendment, special use district and plan unit business development. Following that, we'll have the town planner update, then old and new business and adjournment. Has everyone everyone is present here with the exception of Dr. Waters, and also present is town planner Jean Bourbon and administrative assistant Janae Lacey.
Excuse me, Charlie?
Yeah.
That's the meeting of December 17th,
Oh, did I say, what did I say?
November 26th.
Oh, okay, so the December 17th, obviously. The 26th are the minutes that we're going to be dealing with. Okay, very good. Okay, has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes of the November 26th meeting? Okay, any questions, comments? If not, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes as submitted. Jim? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed, nobody.
No abstention.
And one abstention, that's correct. Okay, great. So we have a few minutes. Do you want to go through and start your update, or?
Sure. So within your packets, you'll find the housing survey results. I just thought it might be interesting for you to read through this and just kind of get a glimpse of what people think about housing and opportunities for housing in the town. And we will be having a public forum here on February 26th at 6:30. If anyone would like to attend, we'll send more information out to you as that approaches. And then our next meeting dates are January 14th and January 28th. We do have a special town meeting on January 27th. That is all I have.
Okay. We have a few more minutes. Maybe we'll start with old business. Russell, do you have any old business? Jim? No? Jeff?
No.
Old? No? Chris? Nothing? Okay. How about new business, Russell?
I'm good.
Jim? No? Jeff? No new business either?
No.
Okay. All right. So that was a pretty good meeting that the Housing Authority had on the
Yeah,
housing
I
committee
thought it
there.
was.
Yeah, they reviewed the survey, and Central Mass Regional Planning was there to discuss the next steps, which was very interesting, so, very good.
I guess I can add to that. So it seemed like the largest need, at least from the respondents, was for 55 and over housing. So the idea now is to drill down a little bit more and see what type of housing that actually is. You know, are we looking at home ownership opportunities, or apartment rentals, assisted living? You know, what type of housing is it that people are really looking for? So on the 26th, we're hoping to have a forum over at the senior center in the afternoon before we have the forum here that evening. And we're also planning to have Central Mass Regional Planning interview the managers of some of the housing developments in the area, the realtor who usually lists the condominiums, for Crescent Gate, and a few other people like that. So if anyone knows of anyone who works in housing in town, that would be a good person for us to interview. Pass that information along.
Very good. Okay, it's 6:35. I'll read the public hearing notice. In accordance with the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 5, the Sturbridge Planning Board will hold a public hearing in the meeting room at the Town Hall located at 308 Main Street, Sturbridge, at 6:35 p.m. on Tuesday, December 17th, to consider an amendment to the town zoning bylaw as petitioned by the Planning Board. The proposal would amend the zoning bylaw by deleting Chapter 15, Planned Unit Business Development. The proposal would also amend Chapter 14, Special Use District, by inserting new permitted uses and new special permit uses. Also proposed are related definitions to be inserted into Chapter 2 definitions and amendments to the existing definition of commercial recreational facilities, as well as changes to Chapter 19, the table of dimensional requirements as related to development within the special use district. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on these zoning proposals should appear at the time and place designated. The full text of the proposed zoning revisions may be reviewed at the Town Clerk's Office, 308 Main Street, Sturbridge, Massachusetts, during normal business hours. Okay, with that, Jean, do you want to give an overview of what the changes are?
Sure. So I guess a little bit of background for those that may be watching at home who didn't want to venture out this evening in this weather. So we started this process last January, really, and Route 15, the corridor, has kind of been the subject of numerous studies, and there were some recommendations in the master plan that we should look at the zoning for consistency and kind of focus on what types of uses we really wanted there, because we seem to allow pretty much anything and everything, but you needed a parcel of 50 acres or 25 acres by special permit. So we held a charrette down at the Public House at the end of April, where we had some exercises. We invited everybody who lived on the corridor, owned property on the corridor, and Kevin Filchak and I ran the people that attended through a variety of exercises and discussion about zoning in the corridor, the special use district in particular. And one thing that we did learn is that people didn't really want, there was not an appetite for a lot of change. They were kind of happy with the uses that were permitted there. They wanted to stay on that kind of recreation, entertainment venue, and they came to the realization there's not as much land as you would think. As you're driving through, it looks like there's a lot of land, but there really isn't a lot of it available for development. So given kind of the feedback that we received at the meeting and the limitations that we had, we crafted the draft bylaw. We've had several meetings, I think maybe 4 or 5 meetings with the planning board when this was discussed. And the changes really that we arrived at were to delete the planned unit business development bylaw in its entirety, which is chapter 15. So the proposal is to delete that. It's never been used since it was adopted, and there frankly are no parcels that meet the acreage size any longer. So it's kind of outlived its useful purpose. And then what's proposed is that we would take some of the uses that were normally, or previously, or currently, I should say, permitted in the planned use business development, and we would insert them in the special use district. So on a regular size lot of an acre, if you met the frontage and you had the acreage, you could potentially do some of these uses. So those permitted uses are now professional and medical offices, laboratories for research and development, and then special permit uses would be indoor recreational facilities, outdoor recreational facilities, craft beverage business with tasting room, microbrewery, indoor family amusement center. And then we also added, by special permit, building heights of greater than 35 feet. And we also, as part of that proposal, worked on kind of cleaning up our definitions. We have right now one definition for commercial recreational facilities that's pretty limiting. Really doesn't give us the opportunity to grow as uses change or new things come into being. As, 10, 15 years ago, you weren't seeing things even like rock climbing walls. So we've now developed an indoor commercial recreation facility definition and an outdoor commercial recreation facility definition, and we propose to eliminate the one standalone commercial recreational facility definition that's currently in the bylaw. And then also proposed is a new definition for craft beverage business with tasting room. And we worked quite a bit on getting the appropriate language for that. As you'll recall, I think 2 meetings we kind of went back and forth on those definitions. So it's really not extreme changes to the zoning bylaw. Hopefully it's something that will encourage some use of the parcels that are left available in that corridor, maybe complement the campground that, the RV park, I should say, that right now there's millions of dollars being invested down there, and it would be nice to see some kind of complementary uses in the corridor, and hopefully this will achieve that. And then the last changes that were proposed were for the table of dimensional requirements. So again, we're allowing by special permit heights of greater than 35 feet. And right now, the setback is 100 feet. We're proposing to change that to 50 feet to be consistent with other commercial districts. And you'll have to remember, there's a 100-foot right-of-way in that corridor, so even with a 50-foot setback, any building is going to be set quite a ways off of the traveled way there. And that's really the main changes. Jonathan Eichman from KP Law has suggested a little bit of changing to the language that I had under section 14.02 subparagraph K. He's just proposing that we reword that. His language is building heights greater than 35 feet or 3 stories pursuant to a determination of the special permit granting authority that the design, siting, and scale of the proposed building is consistent with the location, scale, and characteristics of the uses of the site and is in harmony with surrounding properties and land uses. Not too much different from what I had, but
A little clearer,
a
yeah.
little bit, a little clearer than the way I had written it.
Right.
So that is really all I have.
It looks good. I mean, I really think you've done a great job on these revisions, and, you know, everyone may recall that we did receive some guidance from the Board of Selectmen where they indicated that it would be good if we could get some uses in there that would complement the RV area down there and have it more of a, you know, supporting for the people that might go there. So I think it accomplishes that, and it still allows the other uses that might be, you know, beneficial to the community. Does anyone have any comments or questions on it? Okay, I'll take a vote then to close the public hearing. No one's coming for the public hearing, are they? No.
I had a question.
Sure.
What's a laboratory for research and development? Is there a definition for that somewhere?
There's not in our bylaw, I do not believe, but it could be anything from a laboratory for, like biomedical laboratory. It could be, actually, we have had in town some industrial laboratories, like Sturbridge Metallurgical, for instance. They actually are a testing lab for the development of different types of steels and products like that. So it could be anything from medical to industrial laboratories. And I don't believe, but let me just check and see if I don't believe we define it. That's something else that's changed through time, laboratories. It's not exactly what, nope, I take that back. Scientific laboratories for research and development, which may pertain to medical, scientific research, and/or product development. So it kind of covers all three categories.
Okay.
Very good. Anything else? All right, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second, Jim? All in favor? Very good. Okay. Assuming we want to support this, the recommended motion would be to support the proposed zoning amendments as amended and to forward them to the town administrator for inclusion in the special town meeting warrant. If someone would like to make that motion? Jim?
So moved. Second.
Second, Russell. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? No one. Very good. Now, for the next item, did you want to go over some of the proposed amendments we'll be talking about for future?
I would. So, in the course of his review, Jonathan Eichman noted that Chapter 7 and 11 both actually state commercial recreational uses, so actually we need to amend those two chapters as well. And I regret that I didn't pick up on that prior to this hearing, so we could have done it all at once, but if the board wishes, I'll get that ready probably in February to be ready for the annual town meeting,
Okay.
if that's
That
works.
seems like a good idea, I think.
Really just be for consistency, because we won't have time to get it done in time for the special town meeting in
Right.
January, so.
Very good. All right. Anything else anyone would like to bring up? And our next meeting is January 14th.
That's right.
Okay, so we have a motion to adjourn?
I'd like to bring
Yeah.
up an old issue first. The town, or the state did approve the Clean Streets, or however it was titled, and in that there was spending allowed for sidewalks.
Yes.
What's the status of all of that?
So we have our prioritization plan is complete, and actually I was just speaking to Butch Jackson, our DPW director, about that. So if you remember, a lot of the focus was around the Cedar Street area with new sidewalks going up to Burgess School. And he is looking to schedule some money into his budget to look at getting some design work done, because we can't apply for funding until we have a design done. So that's about where it is right now.
Is the Fisk Hill sidewalk still on the plans?
It is still on the plan. Yes, it is. Yeah.
And with this recent accident out on 131,
Yeah.
has there been any discussion among the town about what to do about that whole situation?
Since the accident, no, there hasn't. No,
Okay.
no. That was a tragedy.
Okay, anything else? All set? Motion to adjourn? Jim? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Very good. Thank you.
Wow.